It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Brooklyn Brewery, and it's a bottle of their Brooklyn Blast Double IPA coming in at 8.4% ABV. The beer's been brewed with British and German malts, British and American hops, and wow, I'm just looking forward to getting into this. I've not had a double IPA from Brooklyn, and it's one I suppose that's never really crossed my mind. I've had their Black Ops, which is an amazing black IPA. I've had some great kind of Belgian style beers from Brooklyn. We've had their Brooklyn IPA, their Brooklyn Lager, the Brooklyn Dry Irish Stout. A few of their other beers, but never a double IPA. And I gotta be honest, it's never occurred to me as to why they've never brewed one. I don't know if this is a new style beer from them. I don't know if they've been brewing this for the last 10 years. I don't know. Comment in the comments box, let me know. But the beer is from beersofeurope.co.uk, the largest online beer store in the UK. You can get great American craft beer. Let's show you that properly. Great German beer, great Spanish beer, great British beer, great... I've had beers from Ukraine, Brazil, Mexico. Great beers. So if you've been on holiday, you want to try something a little bit new, a little bit different, and you come back home, you've tried it on holiday, you want to try it back in the UK, check out beersofeurope.co.uk. So, on with the beer review. Oh, look at that. Wow, that's a CO2 bubble. It's kind of making its way back in the bottle now. Look at that. There we go. Look at that for a beer. As you would expect from Brooklyn, a lovely golden coloured ale, streaming carbonation up the side, and a nice orange colour to the beer. An orange golden hue. Quite clear, little bit of haze. Let's get the aroma on this 8.4% double IPA. I exhaled and then I breathed in as much as I possibly could. For the first second I was thinking, no, I'm not quite getting much here, and then it kind of just ramped and ramped and ramped. The more I breathed in, the more I got a sense of how powerful, how much of a blast this Brooklyn beer is going to be. It smelled very, if I can use the word, smelt bitter. You know you're picking up a lot of American hops, them lovely grapefruity aromas. That's your way to smell bitterness in a beer. Let's dive in, see what we get. Cheers. Come on, bitterness. Come on. There it comes. It took that long. And then it kind of just faded again. Let's go again. Let's see if we can pick it up the second time. I'm trying my best. I'm really trying with this to pull. I'm expecting a big, rampant, bold double IPA with big, fresh, grapefruity taste and a big hoppy finish, bitter finish. But it's just not happening. It's just not happening. It tastes almost like a medicated barley wine. There's some licorice in there. And to that point, let's have a look. best before October 15. So it's well in date. It's well in date. So it's not the fact that Beers of Europe have kept this for 6 or 7 months and just let it slowly turn from a double IPA into a barley wine. Because what happens if you're new to beer, the hops kind of fall off a cliff. They kind of, like any product, like any fresh product, it gets worse over time. Saying that, some beers get better over time. It depends what style of beer it is. But a double IPA really should be drank fresh. It keeps this hoppy, big, bold bitterness, what I was looking for just then in a beer, and that lovely grapefruity, lemony, mangoey, whatever hop they use kind of flavour. But this does taste a lot like a barley wine, and it's a little bit of a shame because they've got to put double IPA on the bottle. To be fair, you still get a little bit of lemon, you still get a little bit of grapefruit. But I've just reviewed a beer at 4.7% ABV, and it's by a Norwegian brewery, and it's called itself an American Pale Ale, and it's absolutely stonking. Loads of bitterness, loads of grapefruit, mango. It was super fresh, and I was obviously what I thought I'd do is review the 4.7% beer first, and then move on to this one, the big old 8.4% beer, and it should overpower it. It should be a step up. But no, to be honest, at this stage of the review, it's not. So it begs the question. It does beg the question, and there's room for discussion. First of all, let me ask you guys the question. Have you tried this beer? Are you having the same experience that I'm having? Or did you get a fantastic, grapefruity, bitter, super fresh Brooklyn double IPA, as you would expect from a kind of a market-leading brewery? That done. Put your comments in the comments box. Let's move on. Is it that maybe Brooklyn were one of the first craft breweries in America? They were market leaders in what they were doing because they wasn't producing lagers. And now they've been caught up and maybe passed a little bit by other brewers. And I'm not criticising Brooklyn. I'm just saying, have they stood still a little bit? Have they not progressed? And again, I can only say, I'll leave that to you guys. But I got a sneaky suspicion that if I was to go out and buy a Brooklyn IPA now, it wouldn't taste the same as when I tasted it 4 years ago. Not that the beer's changed, but my palate might have changed, because Brooklyn IPA would have been one of the first IPAs I drank, and I was still a little bit new to beer, certainly new to American style IPAs, and I probably raved about it a little bit back then. But I wonder now if I would rave about it as much after I've tried so many other IPAs from around the world. I might as well go ahead and rate this now, because there's not an awful lot more I can say about this particular beer. It's got a barley wine feel in the mouth. It's kind of a creamy, kind of thick, gloopy mouthfeel. I've got a sense that the hops kind of are there somewhere. I can taste that kind of nettly taste. But I just can't find any bitterness. I can find a little bit of bitterness, but I'm just struggling. So, for me, Brooklyn Blast was a bit of a disappointment. I'm gonna give it They described it as a double IPA. If they called it a barley wine, I'd give it a much better score. But because they called it a double IPA, and I feel it's more like a barley wine, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I do apologise to Brooklyn if you watched the review. I do apologise to fans of Brooklyn Brewery who may not agree with this, but I have to be honest. Thanks for watching. Put your comments in the comments box. Please subscribe to our daily beer reviews, and cheers.